Welcome to Passion for the Pastime, where baseball lives 24/7, 365. Catch conversations with beat writers, broadcasters, current and former players of all levels. Now here's your host,
Walter Balsetta. Whoops, I fumbled. I got to get out of here.
Walter Balsetta.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Passion for the Pastime here on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's a Tuesday in February. We are ramping up. The month is coming to an end, man. We're right before our eyes. We are going to be in the month of March, and spring training will soon come to a close. No. We all wished that spring training was fast. Like it's all fun getting up to the ramp up of spring training, and then you get the first couple of games, and then, you know, we're not at that point yet, or maybe we're creeping into that point to where, you know, after a couple of games, you're just like, all right, let's get the real stuff going. Let's get to the real season and see what these guys can do. But a lot of excitement coming into this show. It's going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit abbreviated, because I got Senior Walter. He's going to be coming over to the crib here in a little bit, so I'm gonna make it short and sweet. We got a lot to get to here on Passion for the Pastime, but welcome in, everybody. If you are here for the first time, welcome in. If this is your meeting spot for every day, Monday through Thursday at 6 o'clock, and you're a regular, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the podcast. And really quickly, because I always see Rockin' pop in on the YouTube chat, I have to check the microphone settings, and we're good to go. Wait, is Derek is your papa? No, he is not my papa, although he wishes. Yeah, okay. Your mic is on. Woo! Yeah, dude, for sure. It's always it's always a little bit of a panic when the show starts. But really quickly, we already got a phone call off the rip on the cruise line. This guy must have it on speed dial, because I don't even have the I don't even have the graphic up. I don't even have the scroll up. So you know this person saved the phone number for Passion for the Pastime. It is the cruise line, and let's get out to the phone lines really quickly as we're opening up the show. What's up?
I just wanted to get this out of the way, Walter, because I heard that there's now there's an AM/PM beef at the station. So I just wanted to call and get the cheese, man. Where do you stand in all this?
There's an AM and a PM beef? I have no idea, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, this because Young Tone declared himself to be the number one board op at the station. So I mean, he's like overlooking everybody. This is like Kendrick Drake / East Coast West Coast / Biggie,
right?
Pop levels of Chingasos going on. So I have to come and get you're unwittingly a part of this. So I just kind of had to get a quote from you, sir.
Yeah, bro. So we have the beef with the morning show and the afternoon guys, I guess, apparently, and I guess it's a Kendrick and Drake. Who's Drake in this situation?
Oh, clearly Young Tone, man. He's bitten off way more than he could chew, you know. So he's in a heap of trouble right now, because I don't know, aside from a couple of diehards and maybe that crazy old guy Greg in Stockton out there, I don't know who's going to get his back on this one. So I just wanted to call to get a direct quote from you, sir.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm gonna have to go the J. Cole route and let my boys kind of duke it out, and I'm gonna sit on the sidelines. You know what I mean?
You know, Walter, man, that's a very eloquent strategy, man. I didn't even see that coming. I thought because by him taking shots, by him declaring himself number one, yeah. I think he kind of pulled the reverse. Actually, no, he pulled one of those reverse things where he clearly didn't understand. Like, you know, when Kendrick was on the control verse, yep. He was just telling everybody, "Hey, I'm coming free because I'm number one," right? Drake took that personally, right? Yep. No one else did except he did. So I think Young Tony's kind of like, you know, in an inverse kind of way, like doesn't really understand what's coming for him next. So he doesn't understand the magnitude of his.
Yeah, dude, he opened up a whole can of worms, bro. He doesn't know what he's getting himself involved in. He doesn't know what kind of army is coming after him here in the next couple of days. Yeah. That's a big one.
More like a can of Chingazos. Let's give some flavor to it. More like a can of Chingazos, and he's not ready. He's not ready for it. He's not ready for it. He thinks he's a big boy now, so he's gonna learn.
Man, Walter. That's hilarious. You know what? I think I have to get Young Tone on the podcast and have him clear the air or something. We got to open up the phone lines for you guys to kind of hash out the beef with Young Tone.
Oh, that's not to me. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm like, I got my popcorn, but let him take his lunch first. I want to see him score.
Hey, wait. So real quick, AJ, because I mean, you're putting me on some you're putting me on some game right now. Did something go down? because I'm just sitting here at my crib. I'm just chilling. I'm getting ready for the pod. Does something go down? Does something happen? I mean, I know that he declared himself, but was that on air? Like did people hear that? Like I don't even know.
I don't know if he did it on air, but on Dirty Work right now, they were just finishing up, and they had mentioned that Young Tone declared himself the number one board op. So I don't know if it was on. I don't listen to the morning show because I'm in the morning. I take the kids to school. I'm cleaning up, so I got stuff going on. Yeah. I don't really tune in until I'll pop in the afternoon now and then, but usually like in the afternoons when I'm listening most. But apparently, like, he's declared himself number one. I'm like, yeah, you ain't grown, So man. Like, he's doing that so soon. It's like I hope he has a not like us track ready for the board up when they come for him, because he like completely dismissed Overnight Dave too. So I mean, like, I don't know, man.
OD is the OG, bro. You can't overlook the legend. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
Dude, Overnight Dave looks like he packs the 38 specials. He's ready to shoot you, So I wouldn't mess with him. Oh,
I love Dave, man. I love it. I ride with Dave. I go toe to toe. I would, anybody that says anything bad about Overnight Dave, I'm on them. I'm on them immediately. No chance.
Well, you better have some words for Young Tone, because I think some shots are coming for him tomorrow. So I just wanted to call and get the elephant out of the room, so now we can talk baseball.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, no, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for keeping me in the loop. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna pull the J. Cole route, and I might get my own track out, months after the fact, and say my piece after the dust is settled. But I'm gonna go the J. Cole route. I'm gonna stay out of it. Let my boys go at it. You know what I mean?
For the record, I don't want Young Tone hurt. I don't want him. I don't want him.
I don't know. It sounds like you're putting a hit out on him, AJ. It sounds like you're putting a hit out on Young Tone.
No. I just want to keep it on wax. Just keep it on wax. You don't need any drama in the streets. That's all. Just keep it on the air. Keep it on the air.
Oh man, no, I appreciate it, AJ.
Because. Yeah. Because in 20 years, I want to see the 30 for 30, and it's going to be made for compelling Bay Area TV. So that's all. That's why I want Young Tone around, so he can say his piece and say what he's learned.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, no, that's going to be one hell of a story one day. The 30 for 30 shots fired at the sports leader. Yeah, man. No, that's interesting. Again, I'm gonna stay out of this one, but I look forward to the next coming days. I look forward to seeing what's going to be happening on the airwaves.
Yeah, man, compelling radio. I mean, you can talk about the Giants all you want, but in between, we gotta get the status check of what the board op power rankings look like, and I think it's going to be pretty nasty at the top. So yeah, you want to stay out of this one.
To quote my guy Greg Papa on this situation, what he would say: "Who's that motherfucker? I've never heard of him before in my life." That's what he would say. That's what he'd say to Young Tone.
That sounds like an appropriate response. And by the way, Patty, hey man, I can eat chorizo any time of any day of the week, okay? Not just on Fridays, okay? It hits me in the gut, and I keep on moving, baby. So you better watch out, Patty.
Oh, you better watch out, Patty. Hell yeah, dude. Right. Look, see now you're starting beef with the YouTube chat, dude. I love it, AJ. Just coming in hot, coming in guns blazing at 6:05. Yeah.
Hey man, there's nothing like a good old fashioned beat to kind of get everybody kind of up and running,
Oh hell yeah, dude! By the end of the show, I might declare war on Rockin' or something. I don't know. We don't know how it's gonna go.
Whoa, hold on, whoa, time out. If you Rockin', if I don't know anything about Mr. Hatman, he can hold a beef. So if
Oh
you
no,
make any money,
I'm
you're
aware.
never going to get those fresh Toronto hats. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You can mess with Tacky all you want, but leave Rockin' out of this.
Look at Rockin' already ready to go, dude. He got the gloves on. He says, "Bring it" in the YouTube chat. AJ, really appreciate you chiming in, bro. Really appreciate it. But call in anytime, bro. We'll catch up. We'll catch up on this beef between the board ops, man.
Okay, sounds good, Walter. Have a good evening, man.
All right, brother. Oh man, that is hilarious. That was AJ Cruz chiming in on the cruise line. Anybody else wants to get in on the KMBR beef? Let me know. let me go ahead and put up the. I haven't updated the scroll here really quickly. Let me take this out really quick. Chance to win some Giants tickets. Let's see here. I'm gonna clear that out, and boom. There we go. We got the ticker up. So if you guys want to call the cruise line, go ahead and hit us with the number. It is 925. Sorry, I was going to say 415-808-KMBR is the number. 925-392-5348 if you guys want to chime in on the KMBR beef, apparently, that I did not know existed. I was leaving the studio, and I had a lot going on because we had the Giants on KMBR earlier today, and we were talking about, I was just getting everything ready, and it's been about 2 years. Danny Dunn, who we had on yesterday, that was a great conversation with Danny. He used to run all the Giants games, so I haven't run a Giants game since I've been the producer for the middays, right? I mean, I'd pop on here and there and maybe filled in and got things rolling. I don't even know if I've maybe done that in the last 2 years. So today was the first day of KMBR for me running it. And getting the show started in spring training. So the spring training for everybody went great. But Tim came in and he was just like, "I'm about to start some beef, bro. I got something to say." I'm like, "All right, Tim." I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I literally didn't. So when AJ called in, I had an inkling of what he was talking about a little bit, but I didn't really, it didn't really register with me, to be honest. So I'm gonna have to go back there and get the receipts and see what has been said and make sure that my name is being kept out of everybody's mouth, because they don't want to start a beef with me. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm just kidding. Not really, but thanks for AJ for calling in. I'm part of the board ops now. I'm in the board ops rankings. So I'm taking notes. I'm keeping the receipts and we'll speak when it's appropriate, right? But you know what? We're gonna have on Marcus Boucher, I think, tomorrow. So maybe he'll chime in on this situation. We'll have to see. We'll have Marcus Boucher on, and then we'll also have a video for you guys that I'm gonna show here in a little bit. Digital team did a great job in Scottsdale. Austin Scottsdale, by the way. He's going to join the show at some point this week. Not sure if it's tomorrow after Marcus or if it's before Marcus or if it's Thursday. We'll have to find out what day Austin Scott could come on here. If you guys were watching Dirty Work yesterday, he was reporting from the Vibes desk. So we'll talk to Austin Scottsdale. That's what I'm calling him from now on. But let's go out to the YouTube chat really quickly because you guys were kind of getting acquainted with one another, saying hi to everybody and reacting to AJ Cruz blowing up the AJ the cruise line right at the top of the show. And then we'll get into some Giants baseball. EB chiming in. Hey, Walter, hope you're doing great. I am doing fantastic, EB. Really appreciate you stopping by once again. Otis, good to see you in here as always, man. Really appreciate you. R. Galvin, good to see you in here as well. And Rockin', going back to the Young Tony thing, or not going back, it was reacting in real time. Tom Webb, also known as Tim Webb, called out Young Tony. Weird way to spell Tony, Rockin'. I'm just gonna say Toney. It's a weird way. It's a weird way to spell Tony. But yeah, okay, so he called out Young Tony. He was part of Tim's Tuesday's takes. Oh, that's what he was saying. So he said something about his Tim Webb's Tuesday trivia takes or whatever the hell that segment is. He mentioned something, but then I was just like, oh yeah, cool, Tim. I wasn't really like listening. So shame on me for kind of brushing Tim off to the side. I wasn't listening 100%, but that's what it was. Okay, so he was giving me a warning shot. Okay, good to know. Wow, AJ starting shit on the cruise line. Pat H chiming in. I love Walt. He just stays out of the drama. You know me, bro. Drama free. That's how you live and look as handsome as I am at my age. No, I'm just kidding. But let's go on out to the cruise, or not the cruise line, to the YouTube chat really quickly. See what's going on. Everyone likes my decisions. Lori Galvin, smart man. Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it. KMBR, the beef leader. Yes, it is. Murph and Mac with Copes and Waterboy producing some of my all-time favorite KMBR. I would agree with that, Pat H, for sure. That was a great time in KMBR history at that time. Let's go back here. Hell yeah, that's what I called out. Rockin'. I don't want the smoke, bro. I was just joking. Let's see what else we got going on. Pat H chiming in about tacos before he headed to the game today. Oh yeah, Pat H is going out to the game. Yeah, dude, have a good time at the Warrior game. I think Boucher is going to be out there, the Water Boy, and I think Silver's going to be out there, but he's getting ready to leave to the combine tomorrow night. So they're going to be out there and doing the show. Papa and Silver, they're going to be doing the show from the combine in Indianapolis on Thursday and Friday. So maybe he's not out there tonight, but we'll have to see. We need a Walter reaction video. All right, I'll give it to you guys. I'll give it to you guys when I listen to everything. We'll do it live on the podcast. I'll get both sound bites of what was said from each side, and I'll give you guys a reaction, and we'll break it down. It might be more exciting than what's going on at spring training. But let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. Pat H, Latinos Unidos. We used to have Pat H. We go to the same high school because we had one of those too. I don't believe I was in that club, but I had friends that were in it. I don't think that I wasn't much of a club person. Let's see what else. Again, Grant McCrae just struck out again. Yeah, Grant McCrae. It was a rough day at the plate for a lot of Giants players. JP Spears was just, or Sears, excuse me. JP Sears was just on fire. And Bryce Eldridge, I don't think he struck out twice with Sears, but he struck out 3 times today, and he walked in his final at bat. So, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Go rocking in my Papa voice. Look at those thighs, young Silver. Yeah. Did you see the butt on that one? Yeah, that's what Papa's gonna say when they get to Indianapolis. I can't wait for those sound bites. Oh man, that's gonna be a fun time. But okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Passion for the Pastime. We kind of just caught up and went around, made our rounds with Wes, with Pat H, with Rockin', with Lori, with R. Galvin, everybody else in here. AJ called in. Tacky is missing. We have to send out you know what? He has to have like a quota for being here live and in person for the podcast for him to get those damn tickets. He wins the tickets and he just disappears, doesn't come to the show anymore. That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly at all. But all right. Anyways, let's go with, Wes is chiming in. 9 at-bats, 7 Ks. Who are you talking about? You talking about Grant McCrae? Or yeah, who you talking about, Wes? Let me know on that. But yeah, Bryce Eldridge was one of the guys, and the question of the day today, and the question of the podcast is who has the most at stake for this spring training. Oh yeah, Grant McCrae. Yeah, dude, that's rough. Who has the most at stake for this year's Giants for spring training, entering spring training? I would have to say, I mean, there's a lot of candidates, right? I guess it depends on what the stake is. Like, is it just to make the roster? Is it to get right? Because, I mean, right now, you would look at a lot of the position players like Casey Schmidt, like Bryce Eldridge, like Marco Luciano. I think that's huge. Luis Matos, right? Grant McCrae also. He's vying for the 4th outfielder spot. And with that statistic there that Wes just put up, I'm not going to fact check, but I'm going to go ahead and side with Wes on that. 9 at bats, 7 Ks. That is horrendous. I mean, we know that Grant McCrae last year had a really tough time with the strike zone. That was his big bugaboo. Like, he just couldn't command the strike zone with consistency, right? And we all look at his speed, we all look at his defense, and that's why, coming into the spring, looking at that fourth outfielder spot, it looked like it was going to be Gerardo Encarnacion, it was going to be Marco Luciano, Grant McCray, or Luis Matos, right? That's the four that it was going to end up being around with the fourth outfielder spot. And you look at Grant McCray and you hear kind of what the priorities are, in my opinion, for the Giants, or not really my opinion, it's stated fact, is that they want to pitch and they want to play defense, right? That's why Grant McCray, if he was to show any signs of life at the plate, that he would be on this 26-man roster because of his speed. That's also a aspect of the Giants that didn't exist last year, that they're trying to get more athletic, that they're trying to be faster on the base paths, and he adds that element, right? But all that speed, kind of similar to like a Billy Hamilton, right? You guys remember Billy Hamilton? All that speed goes to waste if you can't get on base with regularity. And so if you can have all the speed in the world, if you can't get on base, then you're just a pinch runner, and you have virtually a pinch runner / defensive replacement. And that's the most that you can give your roster, your bench spot at that point. I don't feel like that's worthy of being on a 26-man roster. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And again, what we've talked about yesterday with Danny Dunn, and what we talked about just moving forward, right, is it's spring training. It's the first couple of days. Like, everybody was going crazy, myself included. I was going crazy when Bryce Eldridge hit that home run, right? When he went yard and hit it 450 feet, that doesn't happen on accident. And it was really interesting today with Mike Krukow. Mike Krukow was talking with the morning guys, with Murph and Marcus, and he essentially said that Kipe, he said that he hadn't heard that crack of the bat like that. He hasn't heard that sound of the crack of the bat since Barry Bonds. And are we jumping the gun? I don't really know, but you have to respect what Kipe says. You have to respect what Krukow says, and how these guys go out there and analyze these players. And I mean, that legitimate power, 450 feet. And we had the home run here on Passion for the Pastime yesterday, one of Danny Dunn's double plays that we did yesterday. We had the audio and we replayed the crack of the bat, and it sounded loud as hell. We're going to have Marcus Boucher on tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it because he was in attendance. He saw it. He heard it. So I'd like to hear it from Marcus, somebody that was there as well, right? I mean, Kipe was there, and that's what Krukow had to say on his reaction to it. But, I'd want to see how loud it really was, because I remember the first time, and there's something else that came up with Vlad Jr. Susan posted it on X, on Twitter, and I have this obsession of Vlad Jr., so anything that pops up, I'm going to talk about it. But I remember the first time that I saw Vlad Jr. in Oracle Park. The first time that he was there, I want to say maybe it was 2019, maybe it was 2018. I don't remember exactly when he came up, but the point being is that it was his first, I think it was his first road trip, right? He had a call up in the season, and then he started, I want to say maybe it was in Baltimore, and then it was in New York, right, against the Yankees, and everybody was like, oh man, he's going to hit his first bomb at Yankee Stadium, as it should be, because it's Yankee Stadium, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out west, and he comes and plays against the Giants, and he hit not one, but two of his first home runs. I was sitting right there in the third baseline, and I saw them just fly off the crack of the bat. I was sitting right there at third base, a couple of rows behind, but I was there with my girlfriend, and when he hit the home run, when he smacked the ball, I kind of had, like, you knew it was gone as soon as he made contact. And it was such loud contact, man. Like, that was the loudest, and I said it, and still to this day, that was the loudest contact that I had heard. Again, and we all comp it to Barry Bonds. That was the loudest contact that I had heard in person that I can, like, recollect. Up until, like, last year when Aaron Judge came and smacked the hell out of all those home runs. I would say that it was very, very on par with the sound of the crack of the bat. But But Vlad Jr., like, he has that. Aaron Judge has that. We all know that Barry had that. Does Bryce Eldridge have that aura? Does he have that? Does he have that presence about him? Does he have that attribute of, when when he connects, it's loud contact and you know that it's going far? Does he have that ability in him, right? Because today you look at, if you're going box score by box score, if you're going day by day with the Giants and with their prospects, you look at Bryce Eldridge today and he struck out 3 times, right? He struck out 3 times, but it's like, it's spring training. We have to remember that. But then also, on the other side, he hits a home run and it goes 450 feet. It's spring training. We have to remember. So there's a balancing act between what we're seeing and how we kind of quantify what we're seeing, especially in these early parts of spring training. So that's kind of my thoughts on everything. But as we go to the most at stake, right? I don't feel like Bryce Eldridge has anything at stake at this point, right? Because that he's going to have the opportunity when it is right for the organization. They're going to take this as slow as they want to. Is it possible that he makes the opening day roster? Yes, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I mean, I think that there has to be like several dominoes need to fall in order for that to be a reality, including some injuries to that platoon at first base. But even outside of that, like, I don't even know if that gets him in the door, depending on how good, like, we know his bat's going to play. Like, we know that bat is going to play. He has the confidence. He's out there. He's being like a major leaguer. But the big thing is with his glove. If he can't field first base, then the at-bats are going to be limited. And you don't want to learn how to play first base. You don't want to learn a position, right? You don't want to do that at the major league level. Might as well, while you still can, and while he's still young, have him learn in levels of the minor leagues. That's just my opinion. But then you look to everybody else that is kind of on the cusp, right? You look to guys like Carson Whisenhunt, right? There's not really a spot in the rotation, but he can definitely be a bullpen arm if they need that. He could be a lefty out of the bullpen, right? So he can be that kind of that hole that we're trying to fill with a lefty, where we were talking about Kyle Harrison potentially doing that. But he's going to be a starter, whether it's at AAA or if it's in the major league club. And I think more likely than not, it's going to be Kyle Harrison over Hayden Birdsong, right? So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see these guys, coming into it, because I feel like Carson Whisenhunt, he's still young, but he's kind of that timeline of, all right, dude, it's time to prove it. It's time to produce. The same thing can kind of be said with Marco Luciano. It's a little bit of a different situation because he's going through the positional change and all that kind of stuff. So he has to have an opportunity to do so, right? But today, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys were listening to the game, or if you guys were listening, or if you guys were listening on KMBR, or if you were just following along on Twitter or on the MLB app or whatever you consume your spring training baseball. Marco Luciano, there was a ball that was hit to him in left field. He was playing left field today, and he bobbled the ball, and he got charged with an error. So it's like he's gonna have to go through these learning pains. But I mean, fielding a ball that's past you, I think it went all the way to the wall, and then he kicked it or he bobbled it. It's just like, does this guy just have butterfingers? Like, is that just what he is? Because that's something that was happening in the infield, and he figured, oh, well, it's coming on him quick. He doesn't have the time to react. He's running after the ball at this point. I haven't seen it, but just listening to John Miller, it sounded like the ball got past him, and he got it off of a carom off of the wall, and then he bobbled it from there. Which had the or maybe it was just a grounder. I'm not entirely sure, but the fact of the matter is, I feel like you have more time in the outfield to react to a ball, and you're still bobbling it. So I don't really know what's going on with Marco Luciano, but if that's going to be a problem, because he can't play in the infield, he's too young to throw at a DH. at this point. But he looks comfortable at the plate. That's the thing, is that's what happened last year, is that he looked comfortable at the plate. Then he started having some issues with his glove, with his hands. And then he just looked out of whack. Like he looked like he was a fish out of water, didn't know what to do. You just hope that it doesn't go through that cycle again. But after that home run that he hit the other day, I think it was on Monday, he hit that home run off of the batter's eye in Tempe, went 420. You get a little bit excited, and he's been having really good at bats. Like even when they're not falling for hits, or he's getting solid contact. So that's a good part of Marco Luciano's game. Again, it just comes down to whether he's going to, how long his leash is going to be playing in the outfield. But also the same thing that I said about Bryce Eldridge, the same thing could be said about Marco Luciano, is that you don't want these guys to be learning these positions at the major league level. They're young enough. Take your time. I know Marco Luciano, we've been hearing about him for feels like a decade, but we have to remember that he's 23 years old and Bryce Eldridge is 20. So yeah, that's kind of the guys that when you look at the stake, right? I think the biggest guy that might have the most at stake is maybe Hayden Birdsong, but I feel like he is going to be around for a long time, right? Like it's not, you got to make it or it's a bust. Like maybe I'm looking at it at a totally wrong viewpoint. Maybe I'm looking at it, or I have to look at it as, I mean, a guy that has been in the minor leagues and hasn't really proven it. Mason Black, I mean, he went out there, he didn't really look too great today. Is he somebody that has a lot at stake? Is it a veteran? Is it a Robbie Ray? He looked really good today in his spring outing. Is it a Robbie Ray? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Who has the most stake going into spring training for the Giants and at this early point of spring training? I think we see a couple of submissions here. Yeah, Wes was talking about Grant McCray as far as the nine at bats with 7 Ks. That's bad, man. that is really bad. Yeah, have Tacky call in to officially win his tickets. He was supposed to call in yesterday and he didn't do so. So I don't know what's going on with Tacky. Hopefully he's good. Maybe he'll check in later in the week like he did last week, but we'll have to see what's going on with Tacky for sure. 415 West, I think this was early on when I originally asked the question and I went on a monologue for 10 minutes. Robbie Ray, that's your submission. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really interesting because he was somebody that the Giants traded for, and we knew that, you were getting damaged goods, but it wasn't a trade for last year. It was a trade even more so for this year. I mean, it was a trade for if the Giants were relevant by the time that he was coming in, that it would be like they were trading for someone, right? But this year, I mean, he's far removed from Tommy John. So I think there's a point where you're like, there's not really excuses anymore. So yeah, I would like that submission as well with Robbie Ray. Pat H chiming in. Brent Jones on the pod tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude. I love seeing Tommy doing his thing, man. It took way longer than I had anticipated, but love to see Tommy doing his show. And Tom's gonna bring the guys. I mean, you're gonna have your Brent Jones. You're gonna have your Steve Youngs on with Tolbert. So definitely, if you haven't done so already, Tom Tolbert show. Make sure to find that on YouTube and subscribe. It's a fun listen, and just love to see Tommy doing his thing. Love Tom Tolbert, man. That's honestly when I was listening to KMBR, when I wasn't listening with my uncle, because every time we were in the car driving home from Giants games, KMBR was on the radio, right? So, but when I started driving and when I started commuting more to college, I would listen to KMBR a good portion, and a good portion of that was the Razor and Mr. T. I love Tom Tolbert. So yeah, man, really glad to see that he's doing his thing, his YouTube page. So if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check that out. Let's see what else is going on. Yep, not worthy enough. I believe that is going back to Grant McCray. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna make the roster, man. It was there for the taking. He has all the attributes to make the roster. It's just you can't steal a base if you can't get on. Like that's exactly what it is. If you can't get on base, you have very little value regardless of how good and how much range you have in the outfield and how much speed you have. And if you can't hit and if you can't get on base, like I'm not even saying, like work a walk. He doesn't even have that, like I would love it if Grant McCray had the plate discipline of a Lamont Wade, then he would be a freaking all-star player. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just can't have that type of person on the roster, at least at this point. I mean, can he evolve? Can he change? Of course. But he just looks lost at the plate. Has a lot of confidence, but he just looks lost at the plate right now. So I think it's just something mechanically he has to figure that out. That's what spring training's for. So let's see. You're telling me Ohtani doesn't have that sound? Ohtani, I would say probably Ohtani does, but I haven't heard it in person as often, Wes. I'll be 100% honest. I haven't heard like a loud slap, a loud contact from Shohei Ohtani to where I was like, oh shit. Like I haven't had that with Shohei Ohtani in attendance, right? I mean, you see it on TV and you see him swing it and you're just like, oh shit. Like you have that moment, but I've never seen it in person. I've never heard it in person, to be honest, because a lot of the time, I mean, man, I don't even know if I've seen Shohei Ohtani hit a homer in person, to be honest. I've seen him a couple times with the Angels, and most of them, he had a double, he had a single, and it wasn't really loud contact either. I mean, it was loud, but it wasn't like an Aaron Judge. Like it wasn't that type of hit. And I guess I was fortunate enough to not be there when Shohei Ohtani hits homers against the Giants at Oracle Park. Although I don't know how many home runs he has at that ballpark. I'll have to look that up and get that back to you guys. But let's see what else you guys got going on here. Yeah, good to see Encarnacion getting first base work. Yeah, he looked really good today. He's looking really comfortable. The more that spring training goes on, obviously, I mean, we can't make these determinations by game 4, game 5 of spring training. Game 5 against the A's today. You can't really make a determination, but he's vying for a roster spot. He's vying for, not necessarily to be the fourth outfielder. I think that is going to fall to one of the other guys, but he can play the outfield. He can play first base, as we are seeing now with spring training, but he can also be that DH bat as well. So it's really interesting and really fun to see that he's getting that opportunity during spring. Wes also chiming in. Wes is coming in hot. I love Wes. Wes is just ready for baseball. I think he's like me and he's like everybody else that's just itching for baseball to get underway. Because now we're hearing the games, we're starting to see highlights. Now it's baseball season. So like we haven't I don't think we've reached the spot. And Wes, you tell me, I don't know if we've reached the point of spring training yet to where we're like, oh man, can the games just start already? Because I think we're still excited about the initial, the ramp up, right? Because we had the weekend games, we had a couple of games this weekend, and then by the time we get to Saturday, where the Giants take on the Dodgers, it'll be on KNBR as well, and it will be on MLB Network. If you guys want to watch it, you have to tough it out with the LA broadcast on MLB Network, but still you're able to watch your guys and see it with your own eyes. But I think by the time we get to that point, by the time we get to March 1st, we're going to be like, okay, can the season start? because spring training, I mean, it doesn't seem long, but it is a fucking month. Like it's a long time. And it's even longer if you factor in when pitchers and catchers report. So, I'm not at that point. I don't know if Wes is at that point. I don't know if Otis is at that point. Anybody else in the YouTube chat, if you're at that point, if you're just waiting for the season to start, I'm not there yet, but I feel that I'm going to be there by the end of this weekend or the end of Saturday night after the Giants take on the Dodgers. Let's go back out to the YouTube chat really quickly. Let's see. Yeah, Wade and Flores will be hurt by May, with Wes and Otis chiming in and agrees. They can't stay healthy. Yeah, and that's the big thing, because I mean, if you guys are talking about May, then that's enough time for Bryce Eldridge to maybe figure out first base, right? I'm just saying. He has to be ready. It might be a Jake Lamb that gets the call before Bryce Eldridge, but the opportunity is going to be there. Like at some point or another, the opportunity is going to be there for Bryce Eldridge to be on the 26-man roster at some point. So it just the question is how soon, how quick. We'll have to see. Let's see what else we got going on here in the YouTube chat. Also talking about Bryce Eldridge, did you guys catch the interview last week when Murphy Marcus was out there, and I remember hearing him saying it, but then today Joe Rizzo on the pregame show for the game, they played the clip of Bryce Eldridge like mimicking and looking up to Bryce Harper, and they have the same name, but his swing, he like modeled it after Bryce Harper. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Bryce Harper. You guys seen Bryce Harper hit home runs at Oracle Park? I mean, he doesn't have that pop. It's pretty good. But it's not like a Vladdy. It's not like an Aaron Judge. Definitely not like a Barry Bonds. But that dude gets both cheeks into it. He definitely gets both cheeks into it. So yeah, that's a hell of a guy. That's a good guy to model your swing after, for sure. Let's see, Otis Bird, you guys talking back and forth about Eldridge. Love it. Love you guys having a conversation in the YouTube chat. Really quickly, if Eldridge has a hot start to the season, the Giants may not have a choice but to call him up. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I mean, if he is hot, if he continues a good spring training, I think even that might force their hand. But I think more so if there are injuries and he continues to produce with the bat. But also, like, we know, like we've said this already, we know that his bat is elite. That's not the problem. He doesn't need to be there to refine his strike zone. He doesn't need to be there to refine his swing or anything like that. That is fine. The problem and the reason why he's not breaking the opening day roster, at least as of today, is because he has a long way to go with fielding at first base, because that is going to be his position, right? He was originally in the outfield. That didn't work. They're like, okay, we gotta fit you at first base. Like that's where he has to go, because there's literally, what's up with the Farhan regime, dude? Just drafting guys that had no position, but they can swing the bat well. I mean, Marco Luciano, Bryce Eldridge. Yeah, it's gonna take time. So we just have to be patient. But unfortunately, the reality of it is that if the Giants are kind of in a situation that Wade is injured, that Flores is injured, they go through Jake Lamb, that's not working. They throw Marco Luciano, they throw Tyler Fitzgerald. I mean, that might be the more actually no, because I was even thinking about this Tyler Fitzgerald move around to like shortstop when Willie Adames needs a day off, and they have Brett Wisely at second base. But it sounds like they just want to leave Tyler Fitzgerald. Like they don't want to mess with him too much. They just want to leave him at second base. But I was thinking that you move Tyler Fitzgerald over to first base, and then you have Brett Wisely. That might be another break glass situation that we could see prior to Bryce Eldridge getting a call up if there are a lot of injuries at first base. That's just my opinion. But let's see what else we got going on here. Luciano might be putting pressure on himself. I think that was the case last year. I don't believe that's the case this year, Rockin'. I think that he's coming in because, I think the pressure was, it was self-imposed, but then also it was also knowing how the front office operated. If you didn't have a good, a good couple of ABs, a good couple of days, that you would get sent back down, and your opportunity is limited, right? I feel like this regime is, with Buster Posey, is beating it into these young guys and saying, be yourself, go out there, compete, and do what you know that you're capable of doing. That's why I think we're seeing a more comfortable Luciano at the plate. Now, if you're referencing the pressure to him, fielding balls, then okay, I can see that, because now it's just like he can have 4, 5, 6 good plays, and then as soon as he kicks a ball in the outfield, it's like, oh, dude, this guy can't play defense. Like he kind of has that stigma on him already. It's like, going to Draymond Green with the technical fouls, or starts yelling at officials or anything like that. He had that stigma about him, and it's kind of hard to shake. I know we're talking about two different things, right? I mean, the temperament of a Draymond Green versus the play and ability of a Marco Luciano. But the point of that is just once you are attached with the label, it's really, really hard to shake that, especially in professional sports. So hopefully it's not that far gone, and he can fix this and right the ship before it's too late. To where that does, like, if that is a pressure, to where that just becomes too big for Marco Luciano to handle, that'll be really telling. To see how quick he can turn around his defensive woes. But I'm gonna wrap up here really shortly, because just heard the doorbell ring, so I'm gonna go down and meet up with my dad. Can't leave him out there for too long. But let's go through these comments really quickly before I get on out of here. Luciano won NL Rookie of the Year, my Giants franchise, on the show. What game was that? Was that last year? Damn, that's crazy. Let's see. Luciano did get charged with an error today. Yeah, he did. He definitely did. I was listening to it, and he got charged with it. Wasn't great. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm okay with the spinning wheel again to pick a real winner. Appreciate that, AJ. Let's see what else we got going on here before I get on out of here. Who will they likely start at first base and second? Second base will be Tyler Fitzgerald, and first base, looks like Otis took care of me there. Thanks, Otis, for picking up the slack where I didn't see the question. But it'll probably be Wade and Flores a platoon. Yep, you are correct there, Otis. And Fitzgerald will be starting at second base, at least until it is proven otherwise that he does not have what it takes. Not saying that that's what it is. Not saying that's what it is at all. But Fitzgerald will be there at second base. He'll be the everyday second baseman, like we were talking about with Danny yesterday. It seems like the only place that you don't have an everyday player is in in right field, with Mike Yastrzemski in a platoon with whoever that fourth outfielder is, whether it be Luis Matos, whether it be Gerard Encarnacion, whether it be Grant McCray, Marco Luciano, and then first base, it's going to be a platoon between Wilmer Flores and Lamont Wade Jr. So let's go ahead and get on out to the YouTube chat really quickly. Let's see what else is going on here. Wes is in full baseball mode. Hell yeah, dude. I am too. I'm itching for baseball to get back to every day and where they matter. That's the big thing. These games, they matter to a point, to a seam head like me and you, Wes. 2024, the show started him as short all year. You know what, Wes? Keep that in thought. I need to know what the statistics were. If you don't have that ready yet, don't worry about it. Let me know next time. I got to know like what the game did, because I was thinking about doing a going through a sim of the new game with the new schedules, with the new rosters. I haven't been able to get, because I just found out, guys, I have Xbox One. I'm old school. I haven't upgraded my shit in a long time. They're only releasing MLB The Show on the new generation, on the Xbox X series or S series or whatever, and PlayStation 5. I don't have either of those, so we're going to have to figure that out. I did, if you guys were watching on Saturday, I did upload the new rosters for 2025, so we can go out there, and you guys can watch along with me when we do get that up and running, where we'll play the show on here and we'll talk ball at the same time. But yeah, no, the rosters, I want to do that at some point during, like, when we get closer to the season. Want to sim through the 2025 season and give our prediction show, right? What we think is going to happen, who's going to be the playoff teams, all that kind of stuff. And then we go through a sim, because who knows better than MLB The Show? Would love to see that and love to see how the season unfolds and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna have to see what we can do. The XS Playa. What's the XS? Is that an Xbox? Xbox S series? Is that what you're saying? That is definitely the one that I was looking at. If that's what you're talking about, Wes, that is definitely the one that I was looking at. Shit, I can let you know. Yeah, dude, let me know tomorrow. Check in tomorrow. Let me know what those stats are, because I definitely need to see what Marco Luciano was capable of last year, because we didn't see it on the field. We'll go ahead and do that coming up shortly or soon. As soon as I can get the new console, we'll have to save for that. But Xbox S, okay, you got it, Wes. Gonna go ahead and do that for sure, and get on the MLB The Show 25, because 24, I mean, it's cool, but you know, it's always nicer when you have the newer, fresher game, right? The new toy, as we all always say. But all right, yeah, dude. Otis chiming in. Thank goodness to all the people who downloaded the new rosters in the vault. Yeah, dude. That's what I was playing. That's what I had the last couple of days. So I've been messing around with the rosters, and I think I do have Bryce Eldridge on the 26-man roster. And he's okay. He's all right. We'll wait to make our determinations on Bryce Eldridge from MLB The Show. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. My dad has been waiting at the door for about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna get on out of here and go answer that thing and go say hi to my pops. So you guys have a good one. Be safe. We'll continue to do this show tomorrow. We'll be back at it again at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. My dad, oh my God, my dad broke into the house. He's coming up the stairs right now. You want to pop on? You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, he almost fell. He almost fell coming coming up the stairs. You can say hi. You can say, look, this is my dad. Well, he's like my twin. Everybody. Well, they can't see you. They can't see you. You got to venite, pues. Right here. Hey, look. That's my dad. That's Walter Sr., everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right. On that note, I'm going to get on out of here, guys. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. AJ Cruz. Yeah, 10 minutes. Damn. Yeah, no, my dad was in the house. He has a key. AJ Cruz, 415 West, rocking new era. Otis, everybody saying hi to my pops. Yeah, appreciate you guys for stopping by. Yes, Rockin', he is a OG. So you guys have a good one, and enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the Warrior game, because that's going to be unfolding here in a couple of minutes. So they're taking off in the Charlotte Hornets. Should be a beatdown, right? Warriors. We'll talk about that another night when we have Greg Silver on at some point. But you guys have a good one. Be safe, and we will talk to you again tomorrow, 6 o'clock. We'll be live here at Passion for the Pastime. My name is Walter Ricardo Jr. That was Senior, and I'm going to get the hell on out of here. You guys have a good one. Be safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.